Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Advanced Web Ranking training session. My name is Bogdan, and I will moderate today's event where we are going to show you some very cool new tips on how to improve your work with Advanced Web Ranking. Before we dive in, I want to mention that we will record the session, and the recording will be available in the next few days, and you will receive an email notification as soon as it's ready. This way, you can always come back and watch the recording if you need to. In this 30-minute session, we will go through the workflow for setting up the Google Data Studio integration. And afterwards, there will be a Q&A session. Therefore, as you're watching the session, you can always write any questions or inquiries that come to your mind in the Q&A box. We will go through each of them at the end during the Q&A session, and we will leave no question unanswered. Last but not least, we will have a survey for you in the email following the session where we would like to know any feedback that you have for us, along with impressions, tips, and any topics that you'd like us to approach in the future live training sessions. So we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that. Now that we've got that covered, please allow me to introduce my colleague Aura, who has been an AWR support team for the last 10 years. Aura will take over and tell us more about AWR's integration with the Data Studio, what it is, and how you can make the most of it. Aura?
Thank you so much, Bogdan. Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about AWR and Google Data Studio and show you how they work together with your data. First, we'll see what Google Data Studio is and how it can help you with reporting. Then we'll go through the integration process with data from your AWR projects and show you how to set up data sources and then build a ranking audit report in a live demo. So let's begin. Data Studio is a reporting solution offered by Google to blend and share data from multiple sources. It was originally developed as part of Google Analytics 360 until 3 years ago, when it came out as a free version. And I'm sure most of you are already familiar with what Data Studio can do. So I'll try to mention just a few things that, in my mind, qualify it as one of the best reporting tools out there, both for small businesses and agencies alike. So in addition to the Google connectors for Analytics, Search Console, or YouTube, Data Studio gives you the possibility to pull data from a lot of external sources, including social media platforms, email marketing, call tracking tools, and a lot more. And these connectors help you bring all your data together in one meaningful report. As far as I know, there are approximately 200 Google connectors and community connectors available now, but you can also use private connectors or upload data from CSV feeds. Teams can work together on these reports and manage versions easily, since it's built with the same technology like Google Drive. And something that I really like about it is that it offers a high level of customization. Basically, you can make adjustments to almost every aspect of your report, both in terms of data visualization and filtering options. Plus, when you share the report with the other stakeholders, you can easily track its success in Google Analytics.
Okay, that's cool. So let's now talk a bit about the Advanced Web Ranking data integration itself.
So as a service for search results tracking, we offer two types of data: keyword data for domains or specific URLs, and visibility, click share, and other stats that are calculated at the keyword group or project level. Both types of data can be pulled to Data Studio automatically and used with new reports or with reports created from our own report samples.
Cool. So right now I'm going to give you the share, Aura.
So okay. Let's see how it works. Okay, I'll start from the AWR account. Now, to connect your data with Google Data Studio, you need a subscription with access to a private API key. And this is available for AWR subscriptions starting from the agency level and for all yearly subscriptions. And a quick note about the use of the API key: all the data being pushed to Google Data Studio has already been gathered in your AWR account. So using this connector will not come with additional costs to the subscription, nor with limitations on the number of API calls that you can use with any other third-party reporting tools. So I'll go to connectors and API, copy the key, and then proceed to setting up the data source. So after adding the key, I'll need to choose a report type for my data source. And we have 4 options here. The first 2 will pull the calculated metrics from AWR, like visibility score and percent, click share, estimated visits, but also the rank position distribution and the changes metrics. While the last 2 will pull the actual ranking positions and URLs. Now, the choice between date comparison and evolution in time will depend on what type of widgets I'll further use in Data Studio. So for tables, scorecards, and single date charts, it's best to use date comparison type. This happens because this type of report will pull data only for the start and end date of the range that will be then used in the Data Studio report. However, for charts showing trends or for tables with multiple dates, we recommend the evolution in time type as it pulls data for all of the updates within the time frame that you select in the Data Studio report. So I'll choose evolution in time report for now. And the next step is to choose the project filtering type and then add the related project name. Now, for this example, I'm using project name exact match, and I'm pulling the data only for one project from my account. However, you can also build one data source with visibility data for multiple projects. Let's say you have a customer with international business units, and you want to report visibility across all of their projects. So in that case, you can use project filtering type with partial match or project tag. Now, I will just need to name this data source. And I'm done. So this is the list with the metrics and dimensions that are being pulled with the visibility report type, together with the aggregation methods. Now, you can change the aggregation directly in the data source. So for example, instead of adding up the keywords that you have in first place across multiple dates, you could choose to report the average number that you have for this metric. But the aggregation can be changed also at the report level directly for the widgets where you want to count them in a different way. So let's create the report now. And this is now running a quick test with a simple table widget showing that it's getting the visibility data from AWR. Now let's see how to pull the keywords and URLs. So I will go back to my data source, edit the connection, and choose a different type of report. This time I'll be using the date comparison one. So for a good performance, this type of report only gets data for single projects. And my test account has about 200 projects. and they're all listed in alphabetical order here. But while developing the connector, we've tested this step with an account that has 6,000 test projects, and they were all loaded in a few seconds. So no worries if your AWR account manages a large set of projects. Now, once I select the AWR project for my data source, I can go ahead and apply further filters according to the project inputs that I need to report. So, for example, if my report will not include competitor data, then I can filter in only the project's main website. And the same goes for search engines and for keyword groups. Now, going further, I can filter the data according to the keyword value or to the performance in the search. Let's say I would need to report only top 30 keywords and sort them according to the search volume. Quick note now about the filtering options. If I want to make these project inputs available as filters in the report, then there is an option here that I will need to enable, let's say for keyword groups. And I will show you in just a few moments how this works. Now, when it comes to the maximum number of keywords that the date comparison type can pull data for, we have a limitation of 250,000 keywords.
Okay, one little note about that. We've developed a connector like this because some of our customers actually manage tens of thousands of keywords in just one project. Mm-hmm. So even for those kinds of very large projects, you can reliably upload all of the terms.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'll reconnect the data source. We see that the metrics and dimensions have changed. And we can create a new report. Okay. So let's change search engine with keyword. Okay. And now if we look at the list with available fields, we'll also see keyword groups. And this has been added now as a parameter. And we can use it in a filter dropdown. And when we go to view mode, we can actually apply filters and list only the positions for those keywords that belong to the selected group.
Okay, so this is basically like a master controller and all of the widgets are going to submit to it, right? Mm-hmm. Just like the date controller, the master date controller. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so as you can see, it's quite easy to connect AWR to the Data Studio and pull the information you need to report on. Let us see some examples now with widgets that you can build on top of AWR data itself. So we'll make sure to share the report sample that we're going to show you right now with all of you at the end of the live training session.
Sure. So this is the Data Studio report sample that we've built for the release article back in December. And it combines visibility data and keyword ranking positions from AWR. It's data pulled from one of our test projects. So let's see how it's built. Now, most of the scorecards on the first page are actually looking at visibility data. For example, ClickShare. It's built on top of a visibility evolution in time data source. And the number that you see here actually matches the number that we have in the AWR project. Let's see. So here it is. Now, there are some aspects that we need to keep in mind when using AWR data into Google Data Studio reports. And the first one concerns the date range selection. So in this example, I have a daily updated project, but I'm looking at a default range of 1 week in Data Studio. And as you know, AWR shows values for one update compared to another in the past. In this case, we're looking at ClickShare from July the 23rd compared to July 17. In Data Studio, if we select the same range, actually this tool will aggregate all of the ClickShare values that we had for each daily update across this time frame. So in order to make sure that we are showing the same value in Data Studio with the value that we have in AWR for a specific date, we will need to use a custom date range, which will be set according to the update frequency that we have on the project. For my daily project, I will use today. However, if the project is updated weekly, then we will need to use last 7 days and include today, and so on, depending on the frequency. Now, the second aspect concerns the project inputs. My project has several user-defined keyword groups, as well as competitors. And if I don't filter them out in Data Studio, then the values will be aggregated across all of these inputs. For example, the ClickShare value would be shown for my website and all of my competitors. So I will need to set a filter just for the main website and another one for all keywords. Remember that this is a visibility data source, not keyword ranking. So we do not have the project inputs filter at the data source level. Now let's also see a scorecard built with keyword ranking data source. I only have 2 of them here. The first one is total search demand, which shows a sum of the search volumes for all ranked keywords in the project. And then we have ranked keywords, which actually counts the keywords that we have pulled from AWR. Now, let's also see some charts. And I have a good example on the second page with a bar chart, which reflects the position distribution for our project. And again, this is looking at a visibility data source using the first position, top 10, top 20, and so on metrics from AWR. However, in order to create the distribution with this type of split, we are actually renaming some of the metrics or using custom fields for the others. So, for example, we have first position here, and then we also have 6 to 10 built with a formula. Also, this chart is using now an aggregation, stacking option, which allows it to show the percentages of keywords that we have in each position range. If we don't want to show the percentages, we can actually disable this and show only the number of keywords that we have in each range. So it will look like this. And next, I'd like to show you some widget examples built with the keyword ranking date comparison. I have them on page 3. And the first one is a bar chart, which shows the SERP feature distribution. And this works based on a very nice feature that Google Data Studio made available some time ago, where they added the possibility to use metrics as dimensions and dimensions as metrics. So in our case, keyword is used as metric, and we're counting the keywords for each result type that was pulled from AWR. The second example here is a scorecard, which again is using keyword as dimension. However, it also uses a filter set by result type. So to show only the organic results, we can define the filter like this. If we want to show the number of keywords with blended results, then we would have a different filter where instead of include, we would use exclude as a condition here. So we're getting close to the end of the demo. Now, the last thing that I wanted to show you is a table widget, which is using a keyword ranking evolution in time data source. And here I have the keywords and URLs as dimensions on rows, and the dates and positions on the columns. Now, you can either leave all of the columns with dimensions like this, or you can enable this option here, and then the URLs in this case will be shown only in view mode when the viewer will click to expand this view. And one thing to keep in mind here is that the evolution in time version of the keyword ranking report gets only up to 100 keywords for Data Studio. And if you need to show more keywords on a chart or in a multiple dates table, then you can set up different data sources for individual keyword groups or for individual search engines. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching the demo. And I think now it's time to start the Q&A session.
Yes, thank you, Aura. Before we go to the questions, let us answer some inquiries that we quite often get about the Data Studio and its relationship to advanced web ranking. One of them is about the report samples from our blog, our help articles, like the one that Aura presented before. Can we use these reports? Of course, you can easily copy them over to your Data Studio reports and just replace our test sources and filters with the ones built for your own AWR projects.
Definitely. So if I can share the screen again.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. So for example, before you copy this report, you need to make sure that you have the data sources already set up for your own project. And the instructions on how to build those data sources are posted in the release article on our blog. And then you also need to be logged in the Google account where you have access to the Data Studio reports so that the copy button will be enabled. Now, just click on it, and this part here will actually list unknown sources. So in that case, you will just need to replace them with the ones that you've created, and then just copy the report. Now, also after the report is copied, you will need to make sure that you will update the timeframes and the filters in the report so that they match your own AWR projects. And another question that we have received and comes to mind now, it's about reporting the winner and loser keywords. So let's say I want to show the keywords in top 20 that moved up on the latest rank update. And for this, I will need to set up a specific data source. We're using the moved up filter, not top 30, like we've seen a few moments ago. And this will need to be combined with a different filter set up at the widget level. And it would need to be a position filter set up like this. We'll have a range between position 1 and 20. And since we're on this page, another question comes to mind now regarding the order of the dates in the multiple dates table. So in this case, we have the columns sorted according to the update dates available. In order to achieve this type of sorting, we would need to make sure that the sorting options here for columns are set to date and not position. And then if we want to show the latest update on the left side, we would choose descending ordering. Otherwise, we would choose ascending. So let's see the new question now.
Okay, so Christian has two questions.
Mm-hmm.
He asks, we can schedule monthly reports to clients using Data Studio where the date range for the entire report is set to last month. How then do we know which update per day the rankings data is based on by default? That's the first question.
Okay, so in that case, to make sure that we will have the latest date from AWR available in Data Studio, we would set the custom date to, just a second. We would set the custom date. Let me choose a different widget here. So we would set it to last 30 days and include today. So in this case, when the project is updated automatically in AWR for that month, meaning it will be updated on the first Wednesday of the month, then we will also have that update available in Data Studio with this option.
Okay, and the second question from Christian is more of a request.
Mm-hmm.
Keen to see how we can present comparisons / changes of rankings we previously found in Data Studio. This doesn't look as clear and as nice as in the AWR UI.
True, true. Well, with Data Studio, we can create comparison tables. The problem there is that when we want to show the changes using directly the attributes of the Google Data Studio widgets, so we want to show this in a comparison mode. Let me see if I can get to do this. So comparison to previous period. Okay, so when we are showing this type of comparison, the problem is that Google Data Studio sees those rank positions as simple numbers. So if you have growth in rankings in AWR, you actually have a decrease in number in Google Data Studio. So this is something that we're still trying to find a solution in Data Studio on how to best show the changes in positions from one update to another. For the time being, we recommend using the multiple dates data source, because this one actually allows you to show the positions across different dates, and you have the possibility to highlight those changes with the heat map.
Yes, the pivot table with the heat map.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And another question from Zach, which is quite similar. Is it possible to create a keyword ranking report that looks similar to the report found natively in AWR? And our dashboard with position changes, and he also says he struggled with this in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're trying to find a solution in Data Studio with the options that we have there available now. The problem with the actual changes value in AWR is that they're not stored like positions for each update date. They're calculated in the AWR UI. So we do not have a way of sending those values directly to Data Studio. They need to be calculated on this platform, and we're trying to find the best solution for this.
Right. Another question from Christian. What about using the position change as a column? Might this look better?
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. The values on the changes, on the position changes columns are not stored in AWR. They cannot be sent through the API.
Okay, good. We can see there's no other question right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thank you everybody for sending in the questions. A little reminder that the demo is being recorded and everyone who is registered will receive the recording via email. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We will be looking forward to your feedback on what do you think about our demo and future themes, future things to talk about that you would like us to approach in our future live training sessions. Thank you so much. And if you need any help from us, just write to help@advancedwebranking.com.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Take care. Goodbye.